welcome to day 6 of our 12 days of whiskey. I'm joined by Luke John.
And Young.
And today we're going to be looking at the number 7 selling whiskey in the UK, which is Jack Daniel's Honey. Just like normal Jack, this is produced in Lynchburg, Tennessee. And since 1956, Jack Daniel's has been owned by Brown-Forman. And this itself is relatively new to the market. So this was only introduced in 2011. And the aim was to appeal to new whiskey drinkers. Alongside the honey, they also have an apple variant, and they have their cinnamon flavour, which they label as fire. Now, this one being in the list, I think, is a bit controversial, isn't it, Luke?
It is, because it shouldn't actually be on the whiskey list, because it is a liqueur. Now, it's only 35%, which certainly does not make it a whiskey. It's even described as a liqueur. But I suppose it's kind of up to you. You can let us know in the comments below. Should it be on the list? My personal preference is it shouldn't be. But let's get into it and see what it's all about.
You think it's cheating because there's adjuncts chucked into it at this stage, isn't it? No, I get that entirely. And I would turn around the likewise, like if you're looking in UK, I've said like Drambuie, I would say is a liqueur. It's not a whiskey at that stage, although whiskey constitutes the makeup of most of it. It's been added to. All right, so we've got it out into a glass.
Yes, I am being a whiskey snob and using the Jack Daniel's honey glass. You can just take the honey there through the honey.
It's got the official branded glassware there to go with it. Yeah, I feel bad. I've put mine in an open glass and I don't feel it's worthy of it. But there we go. It's quite a pale one. Yeah, it's pale, very light sort of. I'm not going to say a straw. It's slightly deeper than a straw colour, but I think the obvious word we know we're going to say honey colour.
Honey, that's it. Yeah.
I've got a feeling the word honey to me mentioned quite a lot in this review. Oh dear.
Yep. Come on, honey. Let's get on with it.
All right. Let's have a nose of this.
So for me, sweet honey, kind of a cough syrup. It's kind of got like an old crystallized honey. So if you've got like a honey jar that's got the wax in, and you open that, it's kind of got that same aroma.
You're right. That's a different honey smell than I was perhaps expecting of it. It's not quite as sweet as I was expecting. And mixed with it, you're getting like honey, like bit of oak, bit of caramel as well. But yeah, the honey isn't. I was expecting honey to be just massive, overpowering honey, but it's not quite on this.
Yeah, and it's kind of got a maple / fudge about it. But these are kind of the aromas you wouldn't get with a whiskey or a bourbon as much. Not to the level that these are. Although it's not full out honey, it's kind of... the aroma's totally different. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. You get like, honeydew. No, that is sweet on the nose, but not as sweet as you'd be expecting. I'm interested now to see on the taste how the taste reflects with that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that's honey. That's very, very honey. As soon as that was in the mouth, the honey was hitting.
Yeah.
The heat to it, tiny bit of oak, but my God, it's finished, and the sweetness level's just going up and up and up. It's just ramping up. It's getting sweeter.
Yeah.
It's finishing.
So for me, very thick mouthfeel, very thick, creamy. It kind of then goes into like a fudge almost, because it's that thick on the mouthfeel. As I said, this is a liqueur. You don't get this on whiskey, so hence the reason it shouldn't really be on the list. But it's kind of the whiskies. It's kind of lost to it. Now the blend for this is honey liqueur and the original Jack Daniel's No7. Where you're not getting any of that whiskey through. Slight oakiness, but other than that, it's just a sweet, sugary.
At the beginning only, isn't it? I get a bit of oak at the beginning, and then it's gone because the sweetness just completely overpowers it. And I know it sounds bad, but I feel like my mouth is sickly sweet with the amount that's in there. It's not sort of how I'd want to leave it. If you have a drink and then that's your final drink of the night, I wouldn't want that in my mouth. End of the night, I'm left with just sugar and honey.
Yep. So, I mean, there's no finish. There's basically, it's just a sweetness that runs through the palate.
Yeah.
There's no afterburn. There's nothing really within the throat. It's all within the glands and on the tongue. But I'm going to do what should be done with a honey whiskey liqueur. And I'm going to add a little bit of lemonade. Liam did not know I was going to do this, but hey, this is how it should be served. No Coca-Cola or Roller Cola or anything else. That is how this particular drink should be drank.
Well, you can say how your blasphemy of a drink is going to be tasting. I will go back in on it neat, but as you're saying, it's not complex. There's no complexities. They've produced this for a consistency, and the consistency is it smells of honey, it tastes of honey, and it leaves that sweetness in your mouth after. For me, I just feel neat-wise, which is not what they plan people to drink it, neat-wise, it just leaves a very undesirable sweetness at the end, just in my mouth. That it ramps up the sweetness as it goes along, and then you're left with something that just it makes you feel like you need to, I don't know, get a glass of water or some lemonade maybe to help wash it away.
Yep.
But how is it once you've mixed it, with your lemonade?
So straight away, the lemonade kind of cuts through that sweetness of the honey. So then it becomes a lot more balanced. Well, that's kind of what it was intended for. It's a liqueur, it's a mixer. But yeah, it's much more balanced. The sweetness kind of tones down a level. And it's just a much better drink when it's mixed.
Well, it is controversial being in here. I don't really know how to sort of, not going to rate it or anything, but how to compare it against the rest, because it's nothing like the rest, because it's not entirely a whiskey. But it is the 7th biggest selling whiskey blend. I don't know if I'm stretching it in the UK. Honestly, do let us know what you think. And I know others will probably turn around and go, oh, the apple's better. But no, this is what people are drinking in the UK. But for me, I feel like I need to go grab one of the other whiskies and wash my mouth out for a bit with some proper whiskey. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Zhao Xian.